All right, everyone, get ready for a deep dive today into something pretty interesting. We're going to be looking at personal branding, but from a perspective you might not expect.
Yeah, this is going to be fun.
So we're going to be taking some inspiration today from the Spiz newsletter. It's
Yeah.
by a guy named Twisty, and he normally focuses on helping chiropractors with their businesses. But what's really cool about this newsletter
Yay.
is that he connects his advice back to some pretty, timeless wisdom.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see how he takes like this radical approach almost. I mean, he's really bridging the gap between like modern marketing and these ancient principles of how to connect with people and influence people.
Yeah, exactly.
It really shows you how those core ideas, they never go out of style.
Yeah, they really don't. It's amazing. So Twisty's first point that we're going to dive into, he talks about the power of clarity, especially when it comes to your core identity, who you are at your core. And he really thinks that's essential for branding yourself. And he actually uses a pretty bold example to get this point across.
He does. He uses a very provocative example, you could say. He actually points to the statement, I am the way, the truth, and the life, as like the ultimate personal brand statement.
Wow.
And, when you think about it, it's so clear and direct. You know what I mean? There's no ambiguity there. It's such a powerful statement of purpose.
It really makes you stop and think. Yeah. I mean, it makes you think about how you can apply that kind of clarity to your own personal brand.
Yeah.
How can we define ourselves in a way that's so powerful that people just instantly get who we are and what we stand for?
It's a great question, and it's not an easy one to answer. It takes some real soul searching, right?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if you had to craft your own I am the statement. What words would you use to really capture what makes you unique and valuable?
That's a good exercise. I got to think about that one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so moving on.
Yeah.
Twisty then goes on to talk about storytelling. He thinks it's way more powerful than just like throwing facts and figures at people.
Oh, he's a huge believer in storytelling. And he makes this really interesting connection to the use of parables, like we see throughout history and in different cultures. But he really focuses on how they were used to kind of illustrate these complex ideas, moral lessons, things like that, in a way that people could really connect with.
And the example he uses is brilliant. The parable of the Good Samaritan. It's lasted for centuries, because it speaks to something so universal like compassion and helping others.
Absolutely. It's not just a feel-good story. It's like a masterclass in how to use a narrative to really connect with people emotionally and make an impact that lasts. It really gets you thinking, what are the Good Samaritan stories in our own lives? What experiences can we share that really embody our values and, resonate with our audience on that deeper level?
That's such a good point. It's not just about what you do. It's about who you are.
Yeah.
And you connect with people, And I think those stories are really the key. So for everyone listening out there, what are your stories? What experiences have shaped who you are and what you believe in? Because those are the stories that are going to draw people to you and your brand.
You got it. It's about unearthing those moments, those authentic moments that really reveal your character.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, the world is full of superficial stuff, right?
Yeah.
So when you share a genuine story, it really stands out. It cuts through all that noise and helps you create a real connection with people.
So well said. Okay, next, Twisty gets into authenticity. Something we hear a lot about these days. He really emphasizes being genuine and real. And even, embracing your flaws to build trust with your audience.
And this is where I think Twisty's unique perspective really shines. He connects this idea of authenticity to challenging the status quo.
Interesting.
Which has always been kind of a theme, right?
Yeah.
He argues that embracing humility and vulnerability actually makes us more relatable, especially in a world that often values status and perfection.
Yeah, like people can spot a phony a mile away, you know what I mean? But when you're real and you let your guard down a little, it makes you so much more approachable.
Exactly. You don't have to project this perfect image. Just embrace being human, With all the imperfections that come with it, it's in those imperfections that we find common ground. And ultimately, that's what real connection is all about.
So refreshing to hear that, especially in the age of social media, where everything seems so filtered and perfect. So to everyone listening, how can you bring more of your true self to your brand? What are those things you're passionate about, the values that make you you? Because that's what people are going to connect with.
It's a great point. I mean, in a world where everybody's fighting for attention, authenticity, that's what makes you stand out.
Yeah.
It's about figuring out what makes you unique. Not just in terms of skills, but also in terms of your character and values. That's what creates a personal brand that people remember.
I love that. Okay, so Twisty's next bit of advice is about finding your niche. He uses the example of, like, chiropractors specializing in certain types of patients. Maybe it's athletes or pregnant women or people with chronic pain.
Makes sense, right? When you narrow your focus, you can really tailor your message. And what you offer to a specific group of people who need what you have,
Yeah.
you become the expert, the go-to person for them.
It's like that saying, if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. The
Exactly.
Twisty, he connects this to, uh, the idea of targeted impact. Focusing on a specific group can actually help you maximize your influence.
He makes a really compelling case for that. It's not about limiting yourself, it's about being strategic so you can make the biggest impact on the right people.
Totally agree. So, everyone listening, think about this. What's your niche? Who are you most passionate about helping? What unique value can you offer that no one else can? Because figuring that out is the first step to building a brand that really makes a difference.
It's a journey, right? A journey of self-discovery. You got to figure out where your skills and passions intersect with what people need, and then ask yourself, where can I truly make a difference?
Mm.
That's where you'll find your purpose.
I love that. All right, so the next point Twisty makes really struck a chord with me. He talks about delivering what he calls transformative value,
Yeah.
going beyond just surface-level solutions, and actually helping your audience experience real change.
He's saying that a truly successful brand doesn't just offer a product or service, it creates an experience.
Right.
An experience that transforms people, addresses their deeper needs and desires.
So it's not just about making a sale, it's about making a difference. Think about it, everyone. How does your work go beyond a simple transaction? How are you helping people become better versions of themselves? That's the kind of value that creates loyalty and real impact.
Powerful concept, isn't it? It's a whole different way of thinking about it. It's not just about providing a service, it's about facilitating a transformation. So ask yourself, what kind of positive change do I want to see in my audience? Then align your brand with that vision.
That's a great question to think about. All right, moving on. Twisty emphasizes the importance of community and how it can really amplify your brand's impact.
Absolutely. He says building a community around your brand is essential for creating that ripple effect that goes way beyond what you could do on your own. He points out how throughout history, the most successful movements, they didn't happen in isolation, right? People built teams, communities that spread the message and made a bigger impact.
It's like that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And when it comes to personal branding, that community is your support system.
Yeah.
It's that network of people who believe in your vision and help spread your message.
It's about creating a sense of belonging, like a shared purpose that brings people together and allows them to contribute their unique talents and ideas.
So for everyone listening, how can you foster that sense of community around your brand? Maybe it's starting a group or hosting a mastermind or just creating a space where people feel welcome to connect and support each other.
There are so many ways to do it right. The key is to find what feels authentic to you and your audience. Ask yourself, how can I create a space where people feel valued and connected? A space where they feel inspired to contribute.
I love that. Okay, Twisty's next point is all about visuals and how important they are for branding.
Right. He talks about symbolism and visual identity and how those powerful images can immediately convey your message and values, sometimes in a way that words just can't.
It's true. Think about how certain symbols just evoke instant recognition and emotion. Like a logo, a color palette, a specific style. Those visual cues can become shorthand for your brand. They instantly communicate who you are and what you stand for.
They become visual anchors for your brand, helping people connect with your message on a deeper level.
So everyone listening, think about your own brand for a second. Do you have those visual elements in place? A logo that reflects your personality, a color scheme that evokes the right emotions, a signature style that sets you apart.
It's all about crafting a visual identity that's as unique and compelling as your message.
Okay, get ready for this one. Twisty's next piece of advice is to be a disruptor.
Yeah, he's not afraid to shake things up. He encourages you to challenge conventions, stand out from the crowd. Don't be afraid to ruffle some feathers along the way.
I like that.
He argues that throughout history, the people who made a real impact, they were the ones who dared to question things, to push boundaries.
It's about having the courage to be different, to say what others aren't saying, to offer a fresh perspective that makes people think differently.
It's about embracing that rebellious spirit, the spirit that pushes us to innovate and question assumptions, to create something truly meaningful and unique.
So everyone listening, what's your disruptor statement? What convention are you ready to challenge? What status quo are you ready to shake up? because that's where the magic happens.
It's an exciting question to think about, isn't it? What are those unspoken rules in your industry that you want to rewrite? What assumptions need to be challenged? Because when you disrupt, you not only differentiate yourself, you create space for new possibilities.
And finally, Twisty talks about building a legacy, one that extends beyond yourself. He encourages you to think about how your personal brand can have a lasting impact, even after you're gone.
Powerful idea, right? He's talking about leaving a legacy, one that inspires future generations. It's about recognizing that our work can have a ripple effect that continues long after we're gone.
It's about planting seeds that will grow and flourish, building something that continues to make a difference.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Our actions today can contribute to something that outlives us.
So everyone listening, what's the legacy you want to leave behind? How do you want to be remembered? Because that vision will shape the choices you make today and the impact you create in the world.
It's a powerful question to reflect on. Yeah, it really makes you think about the bigger picture, not just about what we're doing today, but the impact we want to have in the long run.
It really does. And, it's funny because we're finding all this great advice on personal branding from a chiropractor's newsletter. Who would have thought?
Right. It just goes to show you that wisdom can come from the most unexpected places.
Seriously.
I think it also speaks to how universal these principles really are.
Wow.
Whether we're talking about ancient teachings or modern marketing, it's all about connecting with people in a genuine way.
Yeah.
And building that influence that lasts.
One thing that really stood out to me from Twisty's newsletter was his emphasis on connecting with people on an emotional level. He believes we can learn a lot from how figures throughout history used language, storytelling, and empathy to resonate with their audience.
He makes a strong case for studying those master communicators.
Yeah.
No matter what the context is, it's about understanding that human element that makes communication effective.
Exactly. It's about tapping into those shared human experiences, the fears, the desires, the aspirations that connect us all. It's about speaking to the heart, not just the head.
Because logic alone rarely persuades, right? It's that emotional connection that truly moves people to action.
So true. So to everyone listening, as you're building your personal brand, remember that it's not just about crafting a clever message. It's about understanding what your audience needs and desires on a deeper level, creating an experience that resonates with them, on a soul level.
It's about moving beyond transactions and building real relationships. Relationships built on trust, empathy, and shared values.
I love how Twisty reframes personal branding as something so deeply human.
It's a powerful shift in perspective for sure, reminding us that branding, at its core, is about connection, creating a shared experience that truly resonates with our audience.
I'm so glad we did this deep dive today. It's been eye-opening to see these unexpected sources of inspiration for building a powerful personal brand.
Absolutely. It reminds us to stay curious and open to learning from different perspectives, even those that might seem unconventional at first glance.
You never know where you'll find that next gem of wisdom, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But ultimately, it comes back to those timeless principles: authenticity, purpose, connection.
Those are the foundations of a brand that truly makes an impact.
And you know what? Thinking about how these principles have been around for centuries, it makes me realize that building a personal brand isn't just about achieving success. It's about tapping into something much bigger than ourselves.
It's about contributing to a legacy of connection and purpose, something that goes beyond our individual lives and helps create a more meaningful world.
I love that. And that brings us to a thought-provoking question for everyone listening. What kind of impact do you want to make on the world? What legacy do you want to leave behind?
Because those questions are going to shape the choices you make, the stories you tell, the connections you forge as you build your personal brand.
Okay, before we wrap up completely, I've got a challenge for everyone listening. Remember Twisty's advice about being a disruptor. We want you to put that into action. What's your disruptor statement? What convention are you ready to challenge?
Take some time to think about what you're passionate about changing, whether it's in your industry, your community, or the world at large.
Once you've got your disruptor statement, we want to hear it. Share it on social media, tag us, and let's start a conversation.
Let's challenge the status quo together and inspire each other to build brands that truly make a difference.
I love that. So everyone listening, are you ready to shake things up? Are you ready to be a force for positive change?
We believe in you. Go out there and make your mark on the world.
We've been on quite a journey today. From chiropractors to ancient teachings, we've uncovered some fascinating insights into the world of personal branding.
It's amazing to see how these seemingly different threads have woven together to create this tapestry of knowledge and inspiration.
I know, right? It's like we found this secret decoder ring for building an authentic and impactful personal brand.
And what's really cool is that these principles can be applied to anyone. It doesn't matter what your background is, your profession, or how many followers you have. These fundamentals are the same.
Exactly. It all comes back to understanding who you are,
Yeah.
crafting your story, and connecting with people on a deeper level.
And I think that's what makes this deep dive so valuable. It's not just about the tactics of branding, it's about rediscovering that human element. That's at the heart of it all.
So as we wrap up this episode, I want to leave everyone with one final thought.
Don't underestimate the power of your own story. Your experiences, your challenges, your triumphs, they all have the potential to connect with people in a profound way.
And by sharing your story authentically and vulnerably, you can create a personal brand that's not only memorable, but truly meaningful.
So go out there and make your mark on the world.
Be bold, be authentic, be you.
And remember, we're all in this together.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep sharing your unique gifts.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
As we wrap up this look at Twisty's ideas about personal branding, I keep thinking about how he connects branding with legacy. It's pretty thought-provoking, you know?
It is. It makes you think about more than just getting your name out there or being influential right now. It's about that lasting impact, thinking bigger.
Exactly. And when you think about the people who really made a mark on the world, it's not just about a product or service.
Right.
It's about an idea, a way of looking at the world, values.
Yeah. It's about creating something that really sticks with people, something that inspires them, maybe challenges them a little, something that changes them.
It's about making a difference that has a ripple effect, touching lives, shaping things, even after you're gone.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is that anyone can do that. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do.
That's so true.
It's about how genuine you are and how committed you are.
It's about wanting to make things better, leaving your mark, and using your personal brand to do that.
So as we finish up today, I want to leave you with this question. What kind of legacy do you want to build? What mark do you want to leave on the world? Because that's what will fuel your personal brand. That's what will guide you to create something that matters.
And remember, legacy isn't about being famous or rich. It's about making a positive impact, big or small. Living your values, sharing what you're good at, inspiring others to do the same.
Beautifully said. So go out there and be the change you want to see, everyone. Be yourself, be bold, share your story, build a personal brand that shows the best of who you are and what you believe in.
We're all in this together, right?
Absolutely.
Let's support each other, inspire each other, and challenge each other to build brands that make a real difference in the world.
Until next time, keep diving deep.